Ever feel like the world of AI just moves at, well, warp speed?
Absolutely. 1 minute is something amazing.
Right. Dazzling creative power, and then the next, bang, you see these surprising vulnerabilities pop up.
It's definitely a mix.
So this week, we're doing a deep dive into some really fascinating, maybe sometimes concerning new developments, stuff that just hit the wire.
Yeah.
Our mission, as always, is to cut through all that noise, get to the core insights, help you understand what's really going on with AI right now.
Makes sense.
We're going to look at, first, this growing challenge of tricking or duping large language models. Then we'll pivot to something more positive, exciting new creative tools for image generation.
Right, the Gemini update.
Exactly. And finally, a pretty major AI model going open source. So yeah, let's connect some dots.
Sounds good. And it's interesting because these updates, they might seem separate, right? But they actually paint a really clear picture of AI's whole landscape as it evolves. Well, you see both the huge potential and the often underestimated pitfall side by side. And navigating these changes effectively, understanding the real impact. That's getting pretty crucial for everyone, I think.
Okay, so let's start with that more unsettling development then, the vulnerabilities. It almost sounds like science fiction, doesn't it?
It kind of does.
Experts are confirming that these LLMs, even with all their safeguards, can be surprisingly easy to manipulate sometimes. Tricked, duped. What does that actually mean for their security? How are people getting around these powerful AI defenses?
Well, the core problem is pretty deep. Even when they're trained specifically not to answer dangerous or bad requests, they can still sometimes be forced to give up sensitive data or, act maliciously.
Forced? How?
David Shipley, he's the CEO of Buceron Security, put it really well. He likened LLM security to a poorly designed fence full of holes.
A fence full of holes. Okay, that's a vivid image.
It is. And Palo Alto Network's Unit 42, they've even identified something specific. They call a refusal affirmation logic gap.
A logic gap. What's that in simple terms?
Think of it like this. The AI has an internal stop button, right? A sort of digital circuit breaker meant to block harmful stuff. But this logic gap means sometimes that button just doesn't get pressed, or maybe the prompt finds a way around it, even if the system kind of knows the request is dodgy.
So it's not just brute force, it's finding these clever, almost hidden weak spots.
Exactly.
What are some of these methods people are using? You said they were clever.
Oh yeah, some are almost ingenious or maybe just surprisingly simple. One technique researchers found involves using, get this, endless, unpunctuated sentences.
Just sentences that never end.
Pretty much. The trick is you just never put a period. As long as the sentence isn't technically finished, the security model apparently has less chance to kick in and block the dodgy query.
Wow. That seems almost too simple. Does it actually work well?
Astonishingly well. We're talking success rates often between 80 and 100% on major open source models. Google's Gemma, Meta's Llama, Quinn.
80 to 100%.
Yeah. And even on OpenAI's GPT-20B, it hit 75%. It shows how a tiny linguistic trick can sidestep really sophisticated defenses across multiple big platforms.
That really tells you something about how these things are built underneath, doesn't it? A simple grammatical flaw tripping up a complex system.
It does.
Okay, what other kinds of digital sleight of hand are out there?
Another really fascinating one came from Trail of Bits. They found you can hide instructions inside images.
Inside the image itself? How?
So you embed malicious instructions in the image file, but they're hidden when it's full size. But when the LLM internally resizes the image to process it, poof, the hidden text becomes visible and the LLM acts on it.
Seriously, like what kind of instructions?
Well, in their test, they got an image to make Google Gemini CLI run a command. It checked a professional calendar and then emailed upcoming events.
Wow. And Gemini just did it?
Yep, interpreted it as a legit instruction. Now, this attack does depend on the specific ways different models resize images, but they showed it worked on various Google tools, Gemini CLI, Vertex AI Studio, Assistant.
So it's not just theoretical.
Not at all. And David Shipley, the security guy I mentioned, he pointed out this really highlights how security in AI often feels like an afterthought. Something bolted on later, not baked in from the start.
That phrase again, security as an afterthought. That's pretty chilling. It suggests these aren't just isolated tricks, but maybe something more fundamental.
I think that's right.
So is this just going to be a constant game of whack-a-mole? Or is there a deeper systemic weakness here?
It definitely looks more systemic. Like Shipley and also Valence Howden from Infotech Research Group argue, security for a lot of these AI systems is often designed a posteriori.
Meaning after the fact.
Exactly, after deployment or late in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, these LLMs are incredibly complex and they're constantly changing, so static security rules just don't keep up very well.
Right, they evolve.
And then there's the language barrier. Something like 90% of models are trained mostly on English. That makes it harder to spot threats in other languages because, as Howden put it, security isn't designed to monitor natural language as a threat vector.
That makes sense. Different languages, different potential attack surfaces.
And maybe most critically, there's the data they're trained on.
Mm-hmm.
The rush to build these huge models meant grabbing massive amounts of data, often prioritizing quantity over quality.
So junk data gets in?
Worse than junk, sometimes toxic data, harmful stuff, biased stuff, maybe even exploitable code snippets, all woven into the model's core knowledge. And cleaning that up perfectly, it's almost impossible.
Okay, so the foundations might be shaky in places.
Shipley's warning really sticks with me. These security incidents are random shots. Some will hit their target and cause real damage. It's a fundamental challenge, requires rethinking how we build and secure AI, really.
That is a lot to digest. A really sobering look at the challenges. But okay, while we're seeing these weaknesses, AI is also doing incredible things elsewhere, right?
Absolutely.
Let's pivot from defense to creation. Gemini on Android is apparently getting a major boost in image generation. What's new there?
Yeah, this is a really exciting development. It's about putting much more sophisticated creative power into everyone's hands. Google's rolling out a big update for the Gemini app on Android, focused specifically on image generation.
Making it better, presumably.
Much better, according to them.
Yeah.
Google actually said they've improved the way Gemini follows your instructions, allowing you to more easily obtain the desired results. So basically, it should be easier for you to get the exact image you're thinking of, more like a creative partner.
Okay, that sounds powerful. Paint a picture for us. What kind of cool, creative stuff can Gemini do now? What's going to make people go, wow?
All right, well, there's several pretty neat features. For instance, you can now combine elements from different photos.
Combine photos? Like how?
Like, say you have photos of different friends from different events. You could ask Gemini to gather them all into one new picture, or change the background of a photo, or even pose yourself with your pet using two totally separate shots.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Merging realities almost.
Kind of. Another big one is what they call selfie coherence. If you give Gemini a selfie of yourself, it gets a better idea of what you look like.
Right.
So when you then ask it to, say, put you in a different outfit or scene, the results should look more consistently like you.
Ah, I see. So I could actually put myself convincingly into different scenarios, like ask it to make me look like a rock star on stage.
Exactly. Costume changes, location changes. You could ask it to make you look like a footballer or a chef or, a singer on stage. It modifies your clothes and the background pretty well now.
Okay, that's impressive. What else?
Something really useful is multi-turn editing. This means you don't just get one shot. You can refine the image step by step.
How does that work?
You can start with, say, an empty room. Then you tell Gemini, okay, paint the walls blue. Then add a bookshelf over there. Then put a comfy chair in the corner. Then add a coffee table. You build the image up through conversation, keeping the bits you like.
So it's iterative, like collaborating with it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And one more, it can mix patterns and styles. You could show it a picture of, like, butterfly wings, and then ask it to design a dress using that pattern.
Whoa.
Or maybe take the look of some flower petals and apply that aesthetic to a pair of rain boots. Really lets you blend ideas.
That truly opens up creative possibilities, doesn't it? Making really advanced visual stuff accessible to pretty much anyone.
It does.
But thinking back to the security issues, does this easy image manipulation raise other concerns? About trust, what's real versus fake?
That's a really important point. It absolutely does. Well, it's fantastic for empowering individual creativity, letting anyone visualize ideas without needing complex software.
Yeah, lowers the barrier.
Totally. But it simultaneously pushes us deeper into a world where telling real photos from AI-generated ones gets much, much harder. Democratizing the tools is great, but it also means we all need to be more critical consumers of images. Visual proof isn't what it used to be.
A key takeaway for sure. Okay, let's shift gears one last time, moving from creative tools to the strategic side of the AI industry. Big news this week about xAI, Elon Musk's company.
Ah, yes, Grok 2.5.
They've made Grok 2.5 open source. Why is that such a big deal?
It's a pretty massive move, honestly. Grok 2.5 was, until now, an internal model, considered one of xAI's most powerful. And now, It's just out there on Hugging Face.
Hugging Face, the AI community platform.
Yep. Anyone, developers, researchers, even just curious enthusiasts can download it, run it, tinker with it, modify it all freely. No commercial license needed for basic use. It drastically lowers the barrier to accessing really advanced AI tech.
So this isn't just releasing some old code. This is one of their top models.
Seems like it, yeah. It's a clear statement about their strategy.
And is this strategy, this open source push, common? Or is XAI doing something different here?
It definitely sets them apart from some of the biggest players.
Yeah.
They did release Grok 1 back in March, so this continues that pattern. And Musk has even said Grok 3 will also be open source, supposedly coming in about 6 months.
Okay, maybe take that timeline with a grain of salt.
Hey, perhaps.
Yeah.
But the intent is clear. It positions XAI firmly in the open source camp, which is quite different from, say, OpenAI, who keep their most powerful models like GPT-4 pretty locked down proprietary.
So it's a strategic choice to be open.
Absolutely. But, and this is crucial, the open sourcing isn't a total free-for-all. It comes with restrictions d'usage, usage restrictions.
Oh, okay. To prevent misuse.
Exactly, to prevent abuses and harmful applications. So it really highlights that ongoing tension in AI, wanting accessibility and innovation, but also needing responsibility and safety guardrails.
So zooming out, what does this mean for the future of AI development? When powerful models like this become so accessible, even with some rules attached?
Well, potentially it means much faster progress, more research, a huge diversity of new applications people dream up, improvements driven by the whole community finding bugs or new techniques.
Because more eyes are on it.
Exactly. When thousands of smart people can freely experiment with a powerful model, innovation can happen much quicker and in unexpected ways. But again, those usage restrictions are key. The community gets this powerful tool, but there's a shared responsibility now to make sure it's used ethically and safely. Power and responsibility hand in hand.
What a week in AI, seriously. We've seen these really critical security holes.
The fence full of holes.
Right. Then this incredible new creative power unlocking for everyday users with Gemini.
Just selfie coherence and multi-turn editing.
Yeah. And then this major strategic move with Grok 2.5 going open source. It really covers the spectrum.
It does.
We really hope this deep dive gave you some of those aha moments, a clearer picture of where AI is right now.
And it's clear, isn't it? As AI gets more powerful, more woven into everything. Understanding its strengths and its weaknesses, and really engaging with how it's evolving, that's not really optional anymore.
Definitely not.
Which brings up a big question, I think. How do we, collectively, make sure all this open access, all this creative power is actually harnessed responsibly? How do we ensure the benefits outweigh those risks we talked about?
That's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? And here's something to chew on. As AI keeps learning from us, from our data, our digital footprints, what other unintended consequences might be lurking just around the corner? Beyond just the security stuff we hit today, what happens when our digital selves are baked into AI's core?
That's a deep one to ponder.
It is. And speaking of great insights, if you enjoy this kind of discussion, you might also really like Le Podcast de Free.
Oh yeah, good call.
They do fantastic work covering tech and innovation, and they're super close to hitting 1,000 subscribers almost there, so maybe check them out, help push them over the line.
Definitely worth a listen.
All right, that's it for us this time. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.